All rise. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, please bow your heads in a moment of silence for those passengers on the Delta flight. I hereby declare this proceeding in the matter of the United States Air Force versus Captain Raymond to be open. Please be seated. For the record, I would like to confirm that the prosecution is represented by United States Air Force Captain Nelson, and Mr. Nicholson appears as counsel for the defense. I would like to introduce my fellow judges this evening. To my right is Special Appointee Judge Austin of the Southern District of New York, a federal court which held its first hearing in 1789. Welcome, Judge Austin. And to my left is guest judge Franco De Pinto. He has been creating sculpture and poetry for over 40 years. He is a graduate of the University of Calgary in Alberta, Canada. He has been chosen to represent the jurisdiction of the defendant, namely Sullivan County, New York. Welcome, Judge Franco. The defendant has been delivered here from custody. By special order of the Secretary of the Air Force, you will act as the jury. Now that the court has all been assembled, so far so good. Judge Franco, would you please swear in the jury?
Please recite along with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Your Honor, I have an objection.
An objection. Already? We have barely begun these proceedings. You may raise any and all of your objections at the proper moment.
With all due respect, this is the proper moment for this objection.
This is highly irregular, Counselor.
If I may speak, sir, given the highly unusual and controversial matters we're going to hear today, with the light of national and international publicity blaring, and given the unprecedented special procedures established by the Secretary to govern this trial, I think the defendant should be given the leeway to raise any objections.
Huh. And what is your view, sir?
I'm inclined to agree with my new colleague. Let's at least hear the special objection before we decide on its validity.
No. It appears I am outvoted, Counselor. You may proceed.
Thank you, sir. May it please the court. Presenting my client in his prison uniform and orange jumpsuit like a Guantanamo Bay terrorist is highly prejudicial. Might as well hang a sign around his neck declaring him guilty. I respectfully request that he be allowed to change into his proper uniform for these proceedings. We're all dressed appropriately. I think the same right should be afforded my client.
I understand your point, Counselor, though I'm not sure that I agree. The defendant is currently a prisoner on trial for murder. Give us a moment to confirm. Oh, here's I am outvoted again, Counselor. Will you grant a brief recess for your client to change into his uniform?
Thank you, Your Honors. We'll be as quick as possible.
Please do. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am glad to see you all here tonight. Before we begin, I must ask something very important of all of you. I must ask you to forget everything that you may have read or heard about this case. Yes, everything. By special order of the Secretary of the Air Force, you are the members of the public who today will sit in judgment of the defendant, Captain Raymond. This order grants you the power to determine the fate of another human being, so please, take this responsibility seriously. Tonight we will look into several items in order to understand them better. In court proceedings, we often take testimony and create stories out of it. We do this in the witness chair. The court itself becomes a stage. Ladies and gentlemen, be very careful about how you vote. Vote only what you think is the absolute correct thing. Don't let yourself be swayed by anyone else. You alone will determine the fate. By pronouncing a judgment, we intend to resolve disorder and create order once again. Anytime there is, something poorly happens, say an attack by an enemy, it is the court that discusses it. We do not judge morality. The jury will not view anything as evil. Our verdict today will not render salvation or damnation. We will decide between acquittal or prison. So, make your judgment carefully. Take your time. And above all, remember that before you sits a human being who has the same dreams as you, the same needs. He too is granted the right to pursue happiness. So when you employ your judgment, remember your own humanity. Will this resolve the issues that we have today? Will that happen? I'm not sure, but we have to try. Oh, are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Captain Raymond, I'd like some information for the record. Your first name?
Thomas.
Date of birth?